Coffee with Coach Douglas, the Alfred State John Melvin edition. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. It's a beautiful morning. We always climb over the hill coming into campus and got to see a great view. And it's nice and brisk this morning, so my shorts making my legs cold this morning. So definitely enjoying the fall weather and a little bit of Indian summer coming up. We're going to have a little warm game coming up on Saturday.
That's what I hear, behind the 80s or something like that. Hey, you got a couple of guests with you? Talk about them a little.
Absolutely. Got one of our defensive backs, Lawson Stockton, and one of our running backs, starting running back, Jalen Babers. He's our starting B back. A couple guys that have not just led on the field, but led off the field as well. Part of our leadership group we call Line Elite, and I wanted to introduce them to all of our fans and everybody that views in on our live feed as well.
Good deal. Jalen, let's start with you. Introduce yourself. Talk about your career at Line College.
My name is Jalen Babers. I played a running back. I transferred to Line in 2021 from a community college in California. Since I've been here, it's been fun. It's been a great opportunity. The injury bug has taken me out a couple times. Last season, I broke my collarbone week 3. Bounced back from that, and this season has been good so far for me. Healthy-wise, I've just been dealing with a couple minor things, but it's the game of football, and we love and hate.
Lawson, talk about yourself.
Yeah, so like he said, my name is Lawson Stockton. This is my 3rd year here at Lion. I came in as a freshman and have been playing ever since. I don't know, it's just been a good solid 3 years. This has been my first year being a complete starter and not splitting reps as much with another kid. Y'all may know Bilal Muhammad. He's a great kid, yeah, I've taken on a little bit more of the brunt this season, and I think I'm pretty proud of where I'm at so far. So, yeah,
absolutely.
Good. Coach, let's just jump right into Alfred State.
You bet.
Weeks ago.
Yeah.
Beautiful place you played over there.
Absolutely.
With the Allegheny Mountains in the background.
Yeah.
Talk about the game.
Yeah, well, first, I think we got to talk about the trip because everybody always asks about that. In fact, I was texting with a fellow coach in the area, not that we play yet, about it, and just wishing luck on all of our travels. But this was the long one. This was the big one. We hopped on a bus early Friday morning. We drove 8 hours to Cincinnati, Ohio. We sat behind an accident in the rain for 2 hours on top of that, so a 9-hour trip turned into about 11. And then we got back on a bus Friday morning around 8 o'clock, 8:30, and headed on up to New York. And it was beautiful. I've never been to Western New York. It was awesome. The trees, of course, are a couple weeks, 3 weeks ahead of the trees here. And a lot more maples up there, so a lot of colors. Very similar to around here. A lot of rolling hills, a lot of dairy farms. I think guys were thinking New York. They were going to see bright lights in big city, and it was a lot of cow poop and a lot of barns. So, but it was fun. It was fun. We enjoyed the trip. The guys made the trip really, really well, partly because of the leadership that we have, and we have guys that have been in the program for 3 years that know how we travel and know what the expectations are. And I think that's half the battle, especially when you're making such a long trip like that. The expectation is, we have to be able to perform when we get there. Well, leading into that and how smoothly things go, I think lends itself to your performance. And so, getting into the game, it was definitely a departure from the previous 2 games. We played the last 2 games at 90+ degrees, and it was 55 with the wind blowing about 10 or 15 out of the north. Wind didn't affect the game necessarily, but it was a little cool. But the guys handled it well. They start playing. I don't think you ask these 2 guys. I don't think it bothered them at all. So probably felt good, I would imagine, in comparison to 90 degrees. But we started off a house of fire. We got a big kickoff return from Reggie Brown and the kickoff return team. Got down around, I don't know, somewhere around the 30 or something like that. One play hit a little naked and got Xavier Long for the first of his 2 touchdown receptions on the game. Had a great start. Defense came out, played really well early. We just started to have some mistakes in the second and third quarter that lent itself to us falling behind a little bit. And then they're a really good running team, and they do a great job of just consistently moving the chains, and then hit enough big plays to kind of keep the defense on the field a little long, and the offense kind of sputtered here and there to put the defense back out, and we end up falling behind. think people will look at the score. I think the final was 41-15, if I remember right. I think people will look at the score and think it was a much larger margin, but we gave up a kickoff return for a touchdown that really should not have happened. We had a couple guys out of place that are young, that are learning that position, and we missed a tackle, a critical tackle there. We're going to improve definitely on our kickoff cover there after learning from that one. And then we gave up a late trash touchdown. We went for it. 3-4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, down 2 scores, trying to get in a position to keep a drive alive so we can score and bring it within maybe 1.5 scores. And don't convert on fourth down. They walk it in 3 or 4 plays later, ends up now being a three-score game there late. And so it looks worse than it was. I was really proud of how our guys played. We had tremendous energy. One of the other things I was concerned about, I don't know if these guys were concerned, but an early kickoff. We're used to a 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock kickoff. We'd had some 6 o'clock kickoffs. This was a noon kickoff Eastern time, so 11 o'clock Central. And so I was a little concerned with that, just them getting their motors going. But again, these guys have done a great job in leadership. These guys understand our travel, and we get them up early and we prime time them. It's a little thing that we have going on to physically get their bodies going, but it also mentally gets them going as well. And I feel like they responded to that, and they responded to the urgency that we needed right out the gate, and that's why we performed so well early.
It was a good start, like you said, and some fine performances in that game, even into the second half.
Absolutely.
You had Eli Funk at quarterback.
Yes.
And that was he had a really impressive game.
Yeah.
I think he completed somewhere up to 24 passes.
Yeah.
30 something.
And I think we were 27 of 44 actually.
Yeah. 27. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And Jalen had a great running game.
Yeah.
Well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And Lawson, of course, with your tackles. Jalen, talk about the game.
The game, we started off good. I think we came out of there with a little bit too much energy, especially we scored the very first play. So everybody was through the roof,
Yeah.
And I think if we can figure out a way to channel that energy through consistently throughout the entire game, we'll be fine, because our silent guys, they're crazy. They're very supportive and they're very loud. But when everybody dies down, it's just there's no energy. We have ups and downs with that. As far as the game, I think we like everybody's been saying, we came out there, we swung the first punch, and then after that we just kind of started bobbing and weaving. But we just got to figure out a way to consistently play each quarter. Play to our standard and play with lots of energy. And offense, we just gotta score points.
That's right.
Awesome. I think defensively we played pretty well. Forced a turnover at one point. Honestly, throughout the vast majority of the game, we tackled pretty well compared to what we have in the past. Towards the end of the game, that felt a bit, but overall, like he said, their scores came off of long drives that they just pounded the ball pretty consistently down the field. That was our first game putting Coach Rutt in the box and not on the field. That was an adjustment, but I think it turned out pretty well.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys would agree, but
Yeah.
I think that turned out really well. He can have a bit more of a bird's eye view of his defense and see everything that's going on. So we made a great mid-game adjustment that actually turned out really well for us. But in the end, got put in some tough situations and didn't always win those. So that was the cause of the outcome of the game. But overall, that may have been one of our best games defensively, if not our best.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah.
We're going to switch gears a little bit. We're going
Sure.
to talk about John Melvin University.
Sure.
2-year program.
Yeah.
Coming to Batesville for the first time, first meeting between the teams.
Yep.
Coach, what have you seen about John Melvin?
Yeah, well, let me give you some background, some context here. It is definitely a unique situation to play this school. Let me give you even more context. Making this move to Division III and not having a conference, I've never had to do this before, first of all. Normally, you're in a conference and you have 5, 6, 7 games set for you every year, and you have to go find 3 or 4 games non-conference every couple of years. We had to jam in finding 10 games to play, but we had to schedule 13 of them, to get there, between 2 schools closing and 1 canceling their football program for the season. we end up losing 3 games that we had scheduled. And so John Melvin is a program, is a school that's out of Crowley, Louisiana, which is just west of Lafayette, about 7.5 hours away from here, and just started up as an institution, a 4-year school, just 3 years ago, during the height of COVID, actually. And so they've only been having classes for a couple of years, added the football program this year. This is their first year of existence in football. Their intention was to play JV, but it's really tough in this day and age, and particularly in this area where there's not a ton of NAI or Division III schools that play JV, have enough numbers to be able to play that. So they agreed to switch, when we lost a game, to switch to a varsity game versus having a JV game. We had planned on playing them about 2 or 3 weeks ago in the JV only. Because we switched to varsity, we made that decision to go ahead and just cancel the JV and go with the varsity game only. And so they're coming up today. They're driving out, leaving this morning to head up here, get in this afternoon, this evening, and stay in the hotel and do us a big solid by playing us in a varsity game. It's a very young program, and you can tell, a lot of freshmen, a lot of guys that probably would struggle in some other programs, but having an opportunity to play right away. But you know what? They're just like us. They're going to put their pants on. They're going to lace their shoes up. They're going to put that helmet and strap it up just like us. And so, as I've told our guys, it's not about who we play, whether it's the Little Giants or the New York Giants. It's our standard that we have to match. It's our expectation and our standard of how we play, the energy level, the preparation, the performance that we expect out of ourselves. And so, for us, we're not assuming anything. We just have to put our best product on the field. And as Jalen said, we've got to score points. And as Lawson said, we've got to continue to fit gaps, make tackles, get off blocks, and rally to the ball. So it's really about how we're focusing on us this week and making sure that we're taking care, dotting all of our I's and crossing all of our T's in our performance.
Good deal. Jalen, talk a little bit about what you think about John Melvin, and then same question to Lawson.
As far as them, I'm new to them, obviously, but I haven't really seen much film on them besides in meetings. But like he's been saying, they're just young, and you could tell that, they're a young team. I've been on a young team before, so I kind of understand that. But at the end of the day, it's football, and they come down here to play us, so we're going to bring our best, and I hope they bring their best. I'm really excited to get the run game going this week as well, because me and the O-line, we've been fired up about it. But at the end of the day, it's just who wants it more. So they're coming to play us regardless. So it's I don't care who we play.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like Coach Doug said. Defensively, we're going to go out there and we're going to approach it from our 4 goals of playing fast, disciplined, relentless, and together. It doesn't really matter who we're playing, and that's just how we have to approach this week. We can't approach it with the idea that they're a young program and we're just going to go out there and walk one off on them, right? That's not a good way to approach the game. And it's not a good way to approach the game against a better opponent either, right? So we're going to go out there and we're going to try to play line football to the best of our ability and pitch a good product out on the field. This would be a great game to shut a team out. And, if we do those 4 things, playing fast, disciplined, relentless, and together, we'll do that. If we don't, we won't, right? So just have to come at it with a hard-working mindset of playing Lion football.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coach, coming off this bye week, everybody's kind of getting a little rested, a little bit more healthy. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's funny, and I told the team this, I think, Sunday or Monday when we met. I've never really questioned my decision that we made way back in the summer that our plan was to shut everything down. We got in 2.5 hours earlier than we expected to coming off the road. We were planning on getting in around noon on Sunday after the Alfred State travel, and we were planning on immediately getting some treatment, putting our gear away, and then watching film. And we did that, but it happened at 9:30 instead of noon, which was fantastic. It was just let everybody get a break. But when we looked at the calendar, we realized that fall break was falling on a Monday, Tuesday, no classes, coming off of a long trip, and with us having a bye week. And so where a lot of other programs would practice, and maybe not like we've done the last couple of years, have a couple of days of practice instead of 3 or 4 days of practice, we decided, we've gone 7 weeks straight. We've gone preseason camp. We just took a 32-hour bus trip down and back combined let's shut the whole thing down. Win or lose, didn't matter. We're going to shut the whole thing down. Now, looking back at film, are there 3 or 4 offensive linemen I could identify that probably suffered with their footwork? Yeah, for sure. Young guys that just need repetition. I'm sure on defensive side, Coach Root would say the same thing. Probably a couple guys that probably needed, but I think as a whole, the team needed the break. I think it was great for us, not just physically, particularly this guy right here. It was great for us mentally and emotionally. And so I will be highly disappointed if that doesn't factor into tomorrow's game with the type of energy and focus and intensity throughout 4 quarters, as Jalen reiterated in that Alfred State game, of not being too high, but not being too low, as we talk about every Friday, but being that nice, easy, steady state of high energy throughout the entire game.
What concerns you more about John Melvin coming in?
Just the unknowns. There's some athletes on the field. There's some guys with a little bit of size. I mean, their 2D tackles are pretty good size. They've got an offensive lineman that's really big. They've got a couple of skill athletes that are pretty quick. What concerns me really, again, is really beyond who we're playing, is how we play. And I don't want to be the guy that's just going to repeat the same message over and over, but it really is about us. I just want us to go out and perform fast, furious, disciplined, relentless, together every snap, just like we talk about on defense, just like we talk about on offense, but really live it. And I'm a coach, and I understand. I can self-analyze a little bit. I know I'm going to be a little bit perturbed when we have a bad play, or we go a 3 and out, or the defense gives up a big play here or there, because I expect us to do it every time. But I realize if we can put it together consistently through 4 quarters, I'll be satisfied at the end of the game.
Good deal. We have a huge weekend coming up. Big dedication ceremony before the game for Ignacio Gomez.
That's right.
Talk a little bit about that and what we've got coming up.
Yeah, it's very gratifying, first of all, to be able to put this together for the family. I know this was the wishes of Nacho's parents and Fatima, his wife, to be able to memorialize Nacho's life on our campus, and it was really a long process to get this put together. To be able to put the stone together that we did it took some time. I mean, it probably took a good 12 months of just purchasing, procuring, doing the art, and then actually putting it together and putting it in place. And so we were able to post the monument this summer. It's been out by our practice field this entire year. We really haven't addressed it with the team because we have a lot of guys that were not here when Nacho was here. But it's something that we'll address now that we're to this point, and we have this kind of putting a cap on things, or definitely not an end. Not an end. It's a talking point, and I'll talk about this tomorrow at the memorial, but it's a way for us to continue to remember the life of Nacho, the gift that God gave us with his life, and what Nacho gave us in his spirit. And so I'm really gratified, humbled to be a part of that. As I was humbled to be a part of his life in just the short time that I was able to know him. And so I'm anxious to be able this afternoon when we finish practice to be able to share that with our team. And then we'll have some of his teammates that are still on the team now that would be joining us, with some of our former players that will be coming back, even a former coach that will be coming back for this dedication, along with family. So we'll have a nice memorial tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock, and then we'll head on over to the game and then live that spirit that Nacho played with out there on the field as well.
That love and respect that you guys have for each other, Jalen addressed that, and Lawson the same question about the love and respect that we're giving to Nacho. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, unfortunately, I didn't get to meet the guy, but from the teams and coaches and stuff like that, I hear nothing but good things and great things. So the love and respect that Coach Doug and the coaches that knew him and the players that knew him and everybody gives out, it's just awesome, man. And it just kind of makes you think, why didn't I transfer sooner? But yeah, man, and then we got love and respect for each and one of our players, man, and I expect us to do the same for anyone on the team.
Absolutely. Like Jalen said, I didn't get to know Nacho as well as some of the other guys on the team. We both came in the year after he had graduated, or didn't graduate. I did get to meet him on a visit once,
Yeah.
but like I said, didn't get to know him as well. Just knew that he was a pretty cool guy. After that game, he was all up and down the sideline meeting the recruits, so that was absolutely great. But you know, like Jalen said, we just want to keep that tradition moving forward, right? I think that's something that's great, not just about the football team here, but Lion as a whole. Is we always put our best foot forward when it comes to people, right? Everybody knows everybody, everybody loves everybody. You know, as I tell people when I'm giving tours, it's like a small town, but you get the benefits and none of the drawbacks, right? There's no rivalries or anything like that. It's all support. So I think we're going to do a great thing for Nacho's family and for those seniors. I know that hit a lot of people really hard, especially some of the coaching staff here. Like Coach said, I think it would be good to address some of those things and just do a good thing for Nacho and his family.
Yeah. You know, and what Lawson said, I'll just kind of piggyback on, you know, talking about, you know, chatting it up with the recruits on the sideline. That was Nacho. I was just so blown away when we had that first spring season, and you know, we've got a freshman kicker, and Nacho's coaching him up like he's the position coach. But you know, he never felt like there was any type of competition or any type of you know, threat to him. He approached it as, hey, this is a brother, this is a teammate. I'm going to help him get better, and he did it with joy. He didn't do it out of compulsion. He didn't do it out of obligation. He did it because he wanted to help. And, you know, again, I'm gratified that we're able to do this, but I'm so disappointed that I didn't have more time with him, because I probably would say, along with the two guys sitting next to me, some of the best human beings I've ever had the opportunity to coach would be Ignacio Gomez, Nacho. I'll never forget the first phone call I had with him. And of course, we're in COVID, and I just got the job. So we're doing phone calls, and this is before Zoom even became a thing, really. I mean, I know it was a thing, but it really wasn't a thing until later. But so I wasn't doing virtuals. I didn't really know what those were about. And he said, no, Coach, I was calling him Ignacio. And he said, no, Coach, my name's Nacho. And I'm like, are you sure? No, he was Nacho. And so, you know, that's who he was. He's just, you know, easygoing, but, you know, very energetic, and was involved and cared about people. And so if we can take a little piece, even just a little piece of his life, and we can transplant that into our entire team, it's amazing the type, not just the team, but the type of people that we'll have as well.
Right.
And we've got, again, a couple of examples right here to my right and to my left.
A couple of good ones right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Coach, 1 o'clock kickoff.
1 o'clock kick.
Tomorrow at Pioneer Stadium.
That's right.
You know, talk about the enthusiasm and momentum that's coming in.
Yeah, you know, again, it's a great opportunity. We've got a big day. We've got a lot of stuff going on. We're expecting 75 plus recruits on campus for this one as well. This has been our biggest push so far. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to block the sun here. The sun is getting brutal. Biggest push for recruits on this day for tomorrow, so we're really looking forward to it. We hope the fans will come out. I know it's always big on game one. We really want to see a big crowd for this one as well. And we'll be two more road games, and then we'll be back at home to finish the season on November 11th. So really looking forward to this 4-game run. As I told the guys, after our bye week and our down week of really getting some rest and recovery, we've got a great opportunity to do some things, make some noise, and develop some momentum in this program, continue to through these next 4 weeks.
Sounds good. Hey, thank you guys for showing up, Jalen and Lawson, Coach Douglas as well. 1 o'clock kickoff tomorrow.
1 o'clock.
John Melvin.
Pioneer Stadium.
Come to see us. Go Scots.
Let's go. Thanks, guys.